Hello and welcome back to Not Fake News. CNN just stabbed Kellyanne Conway in the back. She will make them regret this. This is an article by Paris Wade out of Liberty Writers. CNN is apparently wanting to ban Kellyanne. They turned down an offer from the White House to keep her off their shoes, whatever that means, apparently. CNN wants to make this a permanent situation. According to the New York Slimes, the Clinton News Network has serious questions about Kellyanne being credible. They're saying that because of alternative facts and the Bowling Green thing, they're saying she's is incredible. CNN might ban Kellyanne. They will regret that. Watch Kellyanne take on Jake Tapper as she dodges this question so smoothly.
Have you or President Trump ever said anything incorrect?
Absolutely.
Any falsehoods coming from your mouths?
Well, I did this past week, and I regretted it tremendously because I used the wrong word to describe something several times, and I'm sorry because I've spoken literally millions of words on TV, I'm sure. I've been on
This is... You see, Kellyanne is an adult. Tapper is a baby. That's the mentality we're dealing with here. She has to treat him like she would a kid. If a kid argues with you when you know you're right, and you don't freak out, you just say, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I was a little loud. You take the high ground. She takes the high ground. He's constantly dealing out the low ground. Just dealing her a bunch of crap.
CNN over 1,000 times in my career, I'm sure. And
you're referring to the Bowling Green massacre.
Yes, I am, because I felt really badly about that. But I am glad that I felt badly about that, and I apologize and I rectify. But I want to say something else about that. I'm very happy to have raised awareness. I'm told by colleagues at ABC that by Friday, the highest trending article there was an article from 3 years ago on ABC.com, because it was what I was referring to, when I was referring to two Iraqi nationals who came to this country and are still in jail, are part of Al-Qaeda. I'm glad to have raised awareness. I'm sorry that I did it inartfully. I never meant to.
You cited a massacre that didn't happen.
That's right.
You said the media didn't cover it.
No, what I meant is the media didn't cover the masterminds. The massacre happened in Iraq. The masterminds were
here.
The
media did cover the masterminds.
A little bit at the time, but again, but we're not covering it in terms of the extreme betting. In other words, the judge...
See, he interrupts her.
This judge, this is an important point. Yesterday, the AP had a fact-check story. I thought it was...
But before she goes on, when she says, you're not covering it in terms of extreme vetting, what that means is, you're not covering it every 5 minutes the way you should be, because these are terrorists, and you need to get everyone in the world to know what's going on. It's the media's obligation to stop talking about cutesy fun things until the terrorist situation is over. It's their job to literally 80% of the time should be all terrorists are bombing this country. Terrorists are bombing. It should be all about terrorists right now. On every mainstream MSM media broadcasters, pundits, they should all be talking about the terror with ISIS and what we're dealing with right now. And they're not. So, yeah, you covered it for about a minute on a Sunday night when everyone was sleeping and going to work the next day. Or on Christmas Eve, you threw in something right around 5 o'clock when everyone was eating. So you can say that you covered it. But it should be a non-stop coverage all day long until the problem is over.
It was really well done. And I'm sure CNN covered it, Jake, but it's really important because the judge in the Seattle case, Judge Robart, asked the attorney, hey, how many people have been arrested since
9/11
from these 7 countries? Would have been subject to this extreme betting, and she said, I don't know. And he said, I'll tell you the answer is 0. That's false. It is not 0. The 2 guys at Bowling Green qualify, a guy in Texas. It's not true.
But Kellyanne, I guess the problem is it is very difficult to hear criticisms of the media for making mistakes, and certainly the media makes mistakes. But it's very...
Aw, is it hard to hear criticism, Jake? I'm sure it is. From that little voice in the back of your mind that's telling you, you know this is wrong, Jake. You know you're wrong, Jakey. It wakes you up in the middle of the night, doesn't it? Huh? I don't think you're stupid. See this word lead here that's in the background of your thing? That's because you have a lead head and nothing goes in.
very difficult to hear those criticisms from a White House that has such little regard day in, day out for facts, for truth, and who calls us fake news for stories that they don't like.
Well,
I'm also calling you fake news for your face that I don't like.
Jake, let me just say, we have a very high respect for the truth, and I can only speak for me, and I'm sorry that I misspoke. It wasn't like I was...
Look, he looked away like, yeah, you have a high respect for the truth.
Trying to get people to believe something existed that didn't. That's easy to figure out, even though the network I was on...
You cited it a couple times before that one interview.
Yes,
you know that.
Well, I was misquoting. I should have said masterminds, and I've talked about all that. But let me just say this on the broader point, that we have a high regard for the facts, but I want you to see some of the other facts that we're doing. I mean, the wages that are being boosted, the jobs that are being created, the people that text and write and email and stop us everywhere just to say, thank you. It's a big country out there. You know that. You've covered it. It's a huge country out there of people who not just voted for him, but believe that he's going to improve their lives.
Sure, millions of Americans, absolutely.
I believe when you and I perhaps sit down to do the first 100 days or first 6 months or first year in office, you will find very quickly that there are people in this country who feel like their lives have improved because Donald Trump was the president. That's how presidents are judged over time. And that's how, I think it's just based on the accomplishments. We're here, I'm personally here, and not a lot of other places, because of those people. And so, look, I hear you completely. And Sean Spicer's out there every day doing his press briefing. I'm happy to have the platform in CNN and other places to explain and to talk about what we're trying to do inside this White House.
Are we fake news, Kellyanne? Is CNN fake news?
No, I don't think CNN is fake news. I think there are some reports everywhere, in print, on TV, on radio, in conversation, that are not well researched and are sometimes based on falsehoods. All the palace intrigue stories, I can't even tell you. Think about how small.
I did a whole video about how he asked her, am I fake news? Yeah, you are fake news. She's being really nice. She's patting you on the head. And, you know, because earlier in this video, that they didn't show you, there's 25 minutes of this video, but this is only 4 minutes you're seeing. He asked her a few times, and he was grilling her earlier on about fake news. But she's finally patted him on the head. Yeah, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. You're not fake news. They're fake as hell.
Our staff was and how small our budget.
They're the #1 fake news. They're the top of the list. That's why they're going down in ratings. They're plummeting.
It was for a presidential campaign, Jake, that succeeded and saw things other people didn't see. We breathe each other's oxygen in the foxhole. We are all very close. And all the palace intrigue stories for a White House is just constant action, constant movement. They're just not true, and they're actually beside the point and hurtful. But I do want to say this.
If you think people behind you don't leak, I'm sad.
No, I'm sure.
I will sadly disabuse you of that notion.
I'm sure that's the case.
Wow, did you hear that? Did you hear that? You think that you don't have moles inside your organization? Ha! You'll be sadly surprised, my friend. No, maybe. But really? You're going to say that? You're just a bitter piece of... You know what? Liberals have been waiting... I'm sorry. Let me start over. This guy... Liberals have been wanting to ban Kellyanne Conway from the air since she started stumping for Donald Trump. Let's show them some love. Let's show her some love. Let's show Kellyanne the love she deserves. 1. Give Kellyanne a compliment below in the comments. part, and then share this article with 3 of your closest friends. Let's get this thing to 1 million shares so Kellyanne can see and know how that we, the people, support her, which we do. Is there another video? No. That's just the one. I just wanted to make one with her. Thanks so much for watching. Comment below. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Hit the like button and share this with your friends. I know it's a lot of work, guys. But you are the resistance. And if we don't do it, who will? Then we're the only ones telling the truth out here. Thanks again. Talk to you later. See you at Not Fake News.